Hello, my friends. What have we got here? Juan Leon. Now, I'm just gonna warn you, I've probably overpaid. My thinking is, we have bounced out of the Champions League again and again. And sometimes, you gotta swing for the fences. This is probably the last season of Reggio Audace. As you can tell, this is on June 13th. There are some very weird things happening in the save, as in, like, the players haven't gone on vacation. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like you've gone too far into the future, things are wonky. Since we're at the beginning part of the transfer window. Oh, and also it hasn't done like the end of season awards or anything like that. So like, I guess that might happen on June 30th, or I went to offer somebody a contract that said like you could have it go into effect on the 14th. I'm like, that's not technically the end of the season, but whatever. I want to walk you through my plan for this window, which I don't think I've done before, at least in the middle of the window. I think I've talked about it going into it, but like this is a little different. So, we've sold 2 players. Okay. We have sold Ken Loose and Boateng. Ken Loose just really made me mad at the end of the season. Oh, my. Yep. He made me really mad at the end of the season. I said something. I'm sorry. I said something to him about like a really poor performance, and he was like, nah. And I was like, I'm done. I'm just done with Ken Loose. I'm done. And so we've sold him. Don't talk smack to me, Ken Loose. So we've sold him to Real Madrid. Yeah. For 65 million straight up. And we've sold Boateng to Dortmund for, I think it was like, it might have been right at 35 million. We'll take a look. I don't want to give away all my secrets. So my plan here, okay, as we talk through this, Richard is a fine central midfielder. He's done really well. Not trying to dissuade him from being really good. However, the only little green parts are the determination, the stamina, the balance, and the corners. But he's really good, right? Now, his agent got a little snippy and wanted a contract extension, and I said no. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I gotta iron these collars every once in a while. I have this shirt for like 8. I don't know about you. It's like I don't like buying clothes. So I buy clothes and just wear them, and then like eventually they're like, and I just woke up, so my coffee isn't soothing my allergies yet. But I don't think Richard yet is a like for like. I mean, he's a like for like. He's not an adequate replacement for Ken Loose. Now, you could argue, and maybe this is fair, that he played the Ken Loose role on his 7.3. I mean, there was maybe a couple times we played him on the left as an advanced playmaker, but like pretty much he played central midfielder on defense. That's fair. Totally fair. Is he a Champions League winning holding midfielder? I'm not sure. He's 3 stars. He's not really going to improve. Okay. So I felt like we needed to address that, right? If we're going to sell Boateng and we're going to sell Ken Loose, we got to get something in return. We're making a final push in the final season. Okay. We're going to lose Fenta and Rizzo. They're going to go back on loan. I'm going to sell Hope. Hope's not going to be good enough for us. If we can get 8 million, we'll be pleased. We'll made a profit. We sold Signorini as well to Venezia for like 3.7 plus 50% of his next transfer's profit, which we'll hope to sell that clause. Di Benedetto is probably going to get loaned right back out. Probably not to Empoli because I guess you can't. This is him down here. This one. Because Empoli got relegated. So I don't want him. I mean, it might be nice, right, to have him in Serie B where he's like smacking in a bunch of goals. Since Empoli is the up and down team, that might actually be okay. So we'll see. And they are paying a pretty tasty fee for him. If they wanted to do an extension, I might consider it. But when you look at the report, he's at a Serie A level, so I'm assuming he wouldn't want to go to Serie B. Sorry. Valeri, we're gonna try and sell if we can get 200 grand in a sell-on clause. It doesn't really matter. Nicolini, I thought about keeping him around, but he's going to want a contract. He's going to need a contract. So I thought we might just sell him. He's lighthearted. You know, he's fine, but like he's not, I don't think he's going to slot into our midfield. Moita is the one I don't know what to do about because he got 24 starts and 2 subs. Now, granted, 6'7" playing, but it was a no-nonsense center back for Atalanta. And this is one of my frustrations that I hope they fix in FM21. I loaned him with a red lock agreement that he was going to be used as a ball-playing defender. They did not use him there. I had a conversation. They did not use him there. And it's like, you can't do anything. And, you know, they paid something for him, right? Like, they gave us $1 million over the course of the season. So, like, we're making money on the guy. Even though we gave him a contract in the middle of the season, right? Towards the end of the season. So I thought, okay, if we keep him, he takes Emery's spot. All right. Emery had 1,1200 minutes for us, 12 starts, 6 subs. But I'm so torn. Look how good Emery has been for us. Like, he plays above his station significantly. Like, this is a 2.5-star guy that's worth 14 million right now. 4-string center back. Doesn't feel comfortable playing in big matches. Like, everything says sell him. But, like, look at in the situations we've used him, which, to be fair, has been, like, rotation games, right? So when we're playing, like, 15th and the 20th, so he doesn't have to worry about it being a big match, he's played exceptionally well for us. Exceptionally well. And so I hate to kick a homegrown product to the curb. You know, he's also a homegrown nation, homegrown club player, which helps us out with registration. And I thought, well, what if we just kept both of them? But I think Peter needs game time. And that's kind of why I think I'm going to reloan him out, because I don't think he's going to get 24 starts with us. So if we can get him a solid loan, not with Atalanta, somebody that'll actually use him as potentially as a ball-playing defender, that might be the plan there. We've got Joaquin, but when we lose Finta, we don't have another option. Oh, but we do. We have one that's coming in. I'll show you a little bit later. We may change our tactic a little bit to maybe go 4-3-1-2 every once in a while, because my thinking here is on the left, we got Colombani. We got Bettini, who's really more inverted on the left / advanced forward, right? We got Voisin, who is looking pretty good, like a pretty good buy for 3.7 million. Not gonna lie. I mean, he's just had 3 starts and 3 subs on a 6.74, but like, he is improving massively, right? But he's not necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily start him every game, right? He's a 2.5-star. He's that guy that needs some guidance. So you get some Colombani, but Colombani's getting up there, right? You know, but he's still star player. We're still going to play. Don't get me wrong, we're still going to play Colombani. But if, let's say, we didn't want to start Voisin and Colombani was tired or injured or something like that, and we sold Boateng, what if we had Joaquin and a potentially new striker that we bought? That's the 2 up top, because we haven't played a 2 at the top system since we played a 3-5-2 in Serie C, right? And then we've got De Silva in the advanced play, or the attacking mid, and then we got 3 really good midfielders. We got Richard, Contreras, Beganovic can play there, and my friends, this guy. And you're like, I guess I should have. I'm 10 minutes in and I haven't shown you him, so my apologies. You could edit your comments now. So at first glance, you're like, ooh, look at some of those technicals. Ooh. However, in what we need him to do, now you could argue this might take away from his passing and his first touch and all that kind of stuff, but like, a like for Ken Lewis, I think he's an improvement. But he also has the benefit. We can play him as a support role. We can play him as a deep line playmaker. Look at that. 17 passing, 16 first touch, 19 decisions, 19 vision. This guy has 16 assists in La Liga this season. Now, is he a flash in the pan? Maybe. Right? This is his second really full season. 16 assists is pretty darn good. He had a $111 million buyout clause. We did 87 plus if he makes 50 appearances, like 14.5 million or something like that. It's a ton of money. But I thought this guy was worth taking the risk. Like, he could be the next really good midfielder that passes well. Thiago, how about that? Can put in a tackle, can pick out a pass. So if we've got Juan Leon to go with Contreras, Richard, De Silva, Beganovic, we've got a packed midfield now. And we can use them in a 4-3-1-2 from time to time. Now, outside of that time to time, you know, we've only got 3 of those players playing. So maybe Richard has to be the rotational guy. He's on a squad player contract. Beganovic is the rotation for the attacking mid. He's still learning it. He's still young, but he's still got 26 starts, 10 subs with us. So that's kind of where my thinking is. These guys were up here and playing and starting at the end of last season, which I guess I could show you without giving anything away, because we won the title, 99 points. We drew in the last game, but I'm whether it's 100 points or not, I don't really care, to be honest with you. But it would have been cool to see 3 digits. But, you know, Bettini gets a start, okay? Down here, Bettini gets a goal. Beganovic gets a start. Voisin gets a start. Like, we pretty heavily rotated because I didn't want to lose somebody to an injury in a meaningless game, okay? Bettini gets a start. Voisin gets a start. Like, Ian comes in as a sub, 1.5 stars. So, you know, we won the league, did our jobs, you know. But I just thought, get rid of Ken Lewis. And I wasn't confident in our options to be a like-for-like, like world-class player. This guy, when you look at him, look at the report. It says he's better than De Silva. And I made sure. I was like, wait. Was this one of our patron scouts that thinks, you know, maybe their judging player ability is like a 10? Do you still have those? Yes, I still do. This is Roberto Marta, who's a 19 adaptability. You don't care about that. 18 and 19 on potential ability, or player ability and player potential. So, I mean, he might be wrong, but I mean, you're saying he lacks the technical, but in the role that he plays, you don't need, right? Like that's the thing that was convincing to me. I don't need, 7 fishing. I don't need 7 fishing. I don't need 7 finishing or long shots from my holding mid. You know, and we could also do like a 4-3-3 with a DM, right? Now we got Richard and Juan Leon that play the DM very well. That was my thinking there. I just think this guy could really pick out some passes while being an amazing tackler. I thought it was worth the risk, and this is our last season, so we're freaking going for it. And we didn't break the budget. Like, the amount that we sold Boateng and Loose for got us up to 100 and something, or right at 100 something. And we structured the deal so we had a little bit more room left. So I'm going to keep moving forward, and you should see me next time when we are ready to show you all the transfers. I can't wait to hear what you think, or read what you think. It'd be weird if I heard it, unless you came in the Discord voice chat and said something. Well, this is interesting. I've not seen this before. So they're setting up, their ridiculous club vision and club culture things. You'd think after almost 20 seasons, we built a stadium, we made the Champions League deep runs, we just won the Coppa Italia for the first time ever, we've won the Serie A back to back to back. You'd think they would just be like, whatever you want to do, bro. But whatever. They want to look to sell the club. I've not seen that before. They want to offer me 155 grand a week. What's my current contract? 89 grand. Hey guys, it doesn't really matter, and I don't want to spend all the money. Like, I'm going to be benevolent. We're going to do 100K. Okay, do 100K. I wish you could say I'll take less if you'll get rid of all this stuff. That would be an improvement I'd like to see. That might be part of the second video. I think it's going to be. So, I'm going to take less. I'm a man of the people and the fans. I can't change these? Is that? That doesn't matter. This is the last season. Let's go. All right, my friends. I don't think the screen gives away anything except that you notice our balances are kind of all over the place from the bank and transfer budget standpoint, and that we're at top of the table 2 games in with a +8 goal differential. We beat Cagliari and Fiorentina 4-0 each. Yeah. Oh, friends. We have a great supporter on Discord who has shared a new kit for me to use. I will show that to you next time because I actually haven't loaded it into the game. So we'll show that. We'll kick off next episode with that. So here's what we're going to do with our time today. We're going to go over the transfers. We're going to go through all the news that happened over the summer. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to have the Champions League draw at the end, and the end of season awards is at the end. So this, you still have time, if you haven't, to put in your player of the season, young player of the season, signing of the season. But without further ado, my friends, let's go through some news. So I've got my things pulled up here. I'm going to stop every so often with my recordings so I can go like, oh, that's where the next image goes, so I can show it to you, because it's more complicated to have it show up live. It's more of an editing thing. You don't care about that, but I thought I'd share. And I will say, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. Spaceman Extreme sent me a very, 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 very kind message when he had to drop his pledge for completely understandable reasons. And I just say publicly, thank you for your support for so long, man. Like, I don't want anybody who supports me, or really any creator, to feel guilty about like, hey, I had to like stop for whatever reason. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Life sucks sometimes, you know? Like, it is what it is. Let's move forward together. So the fact that there's still like, we're over 200 episodes in. How many episodes? This is episode 209, I think. Episode 209 of a series. Some would say it's gone on too long. And I might not disagree from like a, you know, what's good for the channel, but I'm really loving the save. So the fact that you all are still here watching on episode 209 really means a lot. So let's go finish strong. Let's win the Champions League. Let's go. All right, first up, my friends. This randomly happened. I did not ask for it. What are we doing? We just built the stadium, and now we're going to add an extra 7,000 seats for $29.5 million. That doesn't seem like a good deal. We built the whole thing for like $39.5 million. That seems like really poor math, right? Like, it was 31 and change, so we're adding 20% for like 75% of the original cost. Seems unwise. And I didn't have a choice. I didn't ask for it. It just happened. I guess we have a roof. I don't remember us having a roof. I guess we got a roof now. Or maybe we did. So yeah, that happened. And in the midst of the summer, a tycoon eyes Reggio Audace amid rumors that current chairman Luca Quintavalle is looking to leave the club and invest a large sum of money in new players and facilities, which I'm kind of like, we just built a stadium and our facilities now our facilities did drop. What can I show you here? To superb, excellent youth. Like, we don't have like world class or whatever the highest rating thing is. And they're like, hey, based on our financial position right now, no, but maybe in the future. So maybe that would be it. But like, I guess maybe players, but like, we're not gonna build a stadium. I just thought it was kind of odd, especially considering this happened right after, where we pulled the plug on the takeover bids because we are claiming they had not yet seen evidence of the group's finances. The leader of the consortium, Iztok Novac, had not revealed that he possessed sufficient funds to perform the takeover. And then I got this message. Luca, I want to thank you for your patience during what has undoubtedly been a stressful time for everyone at the club. Talks with Iztok Novac have not gone well, but it would be unwise to rule the possibility of him visiting the club in the future. Essentially, like, it happened over the summer. Like, there's been rumors, like, for, like, years that we were going to get a takeover, but it was kind of like, they kept squashing the rumors and whatever. So I guess it got a lot more serious and then didn't, which was kind of odd. And it was odd because we didn't get, like, you know, like a transfer embargo. It was just like, just business as normal. All right, so let's go to some of the transfers. So we already, I think we talked about this. We're selling Boateng. We sold Boateng for 35 million plus 35% to Borussia Dortmund. I think it's a pretty good deal, and we could turn around, depending on what his value goes up to. We could turn around. Do I want to show you this? Boateng. 43.5. Like, is his value really gonna go up much more than that, or do we just at the first opportunity buy that clause? I'm thinking we buy the clause. Likewise, we've sold Ken Loose to not Sheffield United, to Real Madrid, who then, I don't know if it was intentional, asked us to do a friendly, and they paid us 1.2 million, and they stomped us. But that's okay, because they paid us 1.2 million. Barcelona gave us 800 grand. We got 2 million from 2 friendlies where we were asked to come play, which was kind of nice. So we get 65 million for him plus 30%. I thought it was a pretty good deal. It's about fair value, but we have the benefit of the sell on, you know, the profit. Now, will he sell for 70, 80, 90 million in the future? Maybe we buy that clause too. Okay, maybe this had something to do with the takeover not happening and happening and not happening and happening. But literally over the summer, this went, like, these numbers were reversed. We had 10 as the current or old limit for our coaching staff, and then it went to 11. And then same thing for the scouts. It went from 18 to 19. And then I hired a coach and I hired a scout, and it's like, oh, by the way, and like, this is within like a month. It went down. No idea. It's too late. They're already here. Kind of massive news, my friends. And this is something that I'd like to see changed in further editions of Football Manager. I should write all the things I say that about. So last season, we got a 203 million euro buyout or offer from Man City. We said no. Da Silva said, we need to talk. If we win a trophy or if we win the league or whatever, he wanted silverware. I was like, done and dusted. Bro, we won 2. I've met that promise. So, like, it said at the beginning of the transfer window, he's good. Like, he's happy. He's met the promise. Everything's great. Everything's gravy. He's happy. Still wouldn't sign a contract, though. And now, Man United comes in. It was literally like a 57 million euro bid, which is, if that's not classic Man United, I don't know what is. Here's a player that Man City have, like, it was just perfect. It's annoying as all get out, but it's perfect that Man City would offer 203 million for a player to, like, go get the player, bring him back. And Man United would be like, I got 4 pence and a cookie. Huh? I have a 10 pence on a cookie, you know, like, but now he's mad. And I think that's ridiculous. From a gameplay standpoint, if I had a sit down meeting with one of our star players, our team leader hierarchy guy, and was like, listen, Man City have come in for you. You're much too important to us. We want you to finish out your career here. And he was like, yeah, I want to finish out my career. Like, I think that's how this should work in Football Manager. We want you to be a Reggio Audace player for a long time. We'll offer you a new contract. We're going to win silverware, or you can leave for 150 million, whatever. And then we're going to be good. And I would think after that, and you hit that promise, it'd be like, I'm good. I'm happy. It's because he wanted to go to a larger reputation club. And like, we are in, to be fair, we're not Man United, because Man United, I personally think, are broken in Football Manager from a reputation standpoint. Their reputation's not doing so hot these days, if you ask me. But it's just like, I just don't, I mean, I guess there's tons of examples you could give of like maybe a player who had a promise and the promise was met and they still threw their toys out of the pram. But it's like, really? Like, we just did this. Like, we literally just did this. So now I'm faced with a guy. I can't show him to you. Maybe I can do it this way. Who's in poor dynamics. Now the squad, knock on wood, have not, haven't come to me and said, we're really upset with the treatment. In fact, if I show you the squad screen here in a little bit, a vast majority of them are against De Silva. It's not even a fair offer. So I was like, no, like we did this last season. We're not going to do this every season. No. But the problem is his contract is expiring. So if we don't get something done by January 1st, he's going to leave on a free. He's going to sign on a free. So we have to make a decision like in December, assuming that we can not have a dynamics destruction of the club. We either have to get him to sign a new contract by that point, or we sell him and be really upset. I would feel less upset. I'd still be upset. I'd feel less upset if the offer was reasonable. But like, they're coming in, literally, they're not even at his full value right now. It's like, give me a break, people. So that's what's going on. We have to deal with that. And it's going to influence something else. So let's talk about that. So after Paul Colombani a contract. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Paul broke his ankle, by the way. He's out for another 2 to 3 months. Yeah, thanks for signing the contract. But this is what you want, right? You got a guy came through the youth academy and is now going to probably finish his career here. Now, if we leave, the AI may chuck him to the curb, but like the dream is he stays forever, right? Like, but he wanted us to improve the team. I think you'll agree with me. I think we've improved the team. Personally, I think we've significantly improved the team. And he doesn't think so. He's a yellow on the promises screen, and there's 6 days left. And we don't have the money to go improve the team any further because of all the improvement we've done. Let's talk about that too. We'll get there. But Paul's here for now. Now he's probably going to get like what was supposed to be the dream last season. We get De Silva. We bring in a replacement for Ken Luce. We have a star striker that we've signed. We got Colombani, like, let's freaking go. And now it's like De Silva's mad, throwing his toys out of the pram. Colombani's going to be mad. It's like, really? Like, just really? Other new contracts. Jose Carlos has signed a contract until 2041. So it's an extension of, 4 years? 185 grand. It was time. He's kind of earned it. So he was starting to get upset. He's 27. I think that's a great contract for the club. Locking him in. 185 is a lot, but I think he's worth it. Star player. Joaquim signs a new contract. He was up and he had 1 year left. He was on like 93, 97 grand. It's not that big of a raise. It's a raise, but what was important is he wanted squad player. He's been on squad player the entire time, and we've used him as a starter, but now he's going back into being more of a squad player, but a darn good one. So I think that's going to be massive as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. Peter Moita, as I mentioned, I think in the last episode, went from 5 grand to 22 grand on a squad player contract for 4 years. He's going to be sticking around. Ricardo Silva wanted a new contract. Now that was fair because he was on like 55 grand. So he's kind of on par, if not better than Neto right now from a skill standpoint. So yeah, he kind of deserved to go to 135 grand. It's a 5-year deal until 2042. Quite pleased with that. Important player. So we have to figure out how we're going to get all these guys to play at the same time. But that's my problem. That's not yours. Here's a weird one. Maybe it's because we just got the new stadium. I have not been asked this question about the groundsman wanting the pitch dimensions decided the entire save. Now, maybe that's because we're at a shared stadium with Sassuolo, and maybe their groundsman made the decision, or maybe it was grandfathered into a thing where you didn't have to have a certain size pitch because it was a grandfathered old stadium. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it was like they changed the rule, but like because you already play there, you don't have to change. What I thought was really weird, it only gave me the option I'm showing here, the maximum allowed 105 meter length and 68 meter width was the maximum allowed. Well, last season it says the pitch is currently 116 by 79. I'm like, How did that happen? How did we have a stadium, or how did we have a pitch that was bigger than the maximum size last season in our first season with the stadium? Was it because the stadium came online in October and it wasn't technically under the regulations of Serie A? If so, that's dumb. I have no idea. Like, I've not had this question the entire save, and I kind of forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, like I used to get that a lot with some of my saves, and now it's like not happening. So I just kind of forgot about it. Do you know? If so, leave a comment, because I'm befuddled. Here's the reputations. As you can see, we're what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th in the world, people. We're winning the league all the time. We're in the Champions League all the time. All the other clubs, aside from a couple Spanish teams and Salzburg, how has that happened, are all in the English Premier League. So I guess it's fair that you want to throw a fit and leave Serie A to go to the Premier League with Man U. Maybe. I don't 100% agree with that, but yeah, sure. Here's your Serie A award winners. Ibrahim, best defender. Joaquim, squad player, best striker, folks. Let's go. We also moved up to 6th place in the European club rankings from the coefficient standpoint. Norwich went from 722nd to 75th. What did Norwich do? 722nd is pretty far down there for a... They've been in the Premier League. It's not some other Norwich, right? It's got to be Norwich City, right? Or is it Norwich United? They wouldn't be 75th, though. How? Is it because they made a Europa League or something like that? They made the Europa League, but they made the Europa League, the Europa League 2 last time. Would that give you that big of a jump? We got paid for being in the Champions League, as you can see in the I already looked at it, 21.5 or 21.05 and 17.11 in whatever, like coefficient money and TV, whatever, blah blah blah, and then we paid out 1.4, so that's like 38 and change, so we end up with like 37 from the Champions League. Not bad. Speaking of finances, here's our our commercial summary, and this was odd because our club vision now includes increased commercial revenue by signing and using players who bring a merchandising boot. So that kind of goes with the high reputation players. Is there a way to see which players bring a merchandising boot? That seems like something that I'd have to know about, other than going for a high could you sign a high reputation player who wouldn't give you an increase in commercial revenue? That's the first time I've seen this. That's why we accepted. I figure the friendlies against Barcelona and Real Madrid aren't necessarily commercial revenue, I don't think, but it doesn't hurt to have an extra 2 million euros, so I took it. I don't know. I just love the numbers. De Silva 14, Colomani 43. Yes, Pedrelli 17, Ibrahim on a 2, Joaquim on the 10. That's good stuff. And again, we're over 50% with 10.95 being non-domestic merch sales. So we did a preseason tour to the U.S., Brooklyn, if you're interested to know the specifics, to continue that going U.S., China, U.S., China, U.S., China, to unless somebody goes, hey, you want to come to Portugal, we'll pay you to do that. We're going to keep doing what we keep doing. Pascal's still around, and we got a solidarity payment of 106 grand, which is not meaningless, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a drop in the bucket. Pays somebody's one player's wage, for a week. I just thought it was neat that he's still around. We're still getting paid for it, so I thought I'd share that. Again, this is kind of the financial section of the reporting that I'm doing with you. We did sell Kluge's sign-on, or his profit made on next transfer. just because I did the math and it was about the same, and I don't think his value is going to go up significantly. So it's like, I'd rather get the 1.43 million now. I also wanted to show you the gate receipts because I think I may have promised that last episode. Just to show, again, the stadium came online in October, and the previous season we had 11.874 in gate receipts. This season, you had 22 million. Massive difference, right? Again, you could argue, well, did you go as far in the competitions? Like, you could split hairs with that, but it's a pretty significant increase. Even if it was, did I say a 50% increase? It's a 100% increase, almost. But even if it was 50%, right? Let's say you only gained an extra 5 million in gate receipts a season. Well, in 10 seasons, well, okay, now more because we're expanding the stadium for an extra 30 million. But okay, in 12 or 13 seasons, you paid for the whole kit and caboodle. And that's, if it's only 50%, and that 50% being 5.5 or 6 million versus 10 or 11 million. So I was pretty pleased with that. All right, my friends, into season awards. De Silva takes the cake, 44%. Ibrahim, not that far behind, 24% with Contreras, which I thought was he just hasn't gotten a ton of love. Like, he's just like that workhorse at 20% right there. And Mary, set piece master theater with the goal of the season. Yakupi gets the signing of the season. I think we talked about there wasn't really many options there, but Ibrahim gets the young player of the season because he's 24, which I thought, really young, I guess. I also like to show you the overall best 11 because Lorenzo has finally earned his way into the best 11. So he's now on that right wing. That's the only new addition. So you got to think we still have Adam Ida on the substitute bench of our best 11. Angelini, Haas is still there. Maximiliano still there. Theo, Andriesen. Casape is a substitute. He's not gotten past Bergeron, despite the fact he won the Coppa Italia. Maybe it's the number of appearances. I don't know. Or it could be that his rating hasn't been exceptional because he's just solid, I guess. But he's not like getting a 7.0. Giallo still in there. Serge still in there. Colombani, Lorenzo, Giallo, De Silva, Grandi, who's still playing. He's a French player, but he's still around. Ken Lewis, we just talked about. Maybe so is still with Fiorentina. Oriol is still playing in China. And Bergeron is still a backup at Liverpool. I want to share this before we go to the transfer screen. You notice anything about that left column there? Like right here? Sending a message, folks. Sending a message. So you can see the values there. I just think that's kind of like, that's the first time I think in any save I've ever had where we have shown off. We've had the major transfers. Like, there's been 33 deals and we've had 4 of them as the major transfers. There's been 143 million in transfer spend. 80, well, okay, I guess, is that net? No, because it's got the highest fee is 87 million plus 20.5. I'm imagining eventually all that stuff might add up towards 143 million. So let's go take a look at who we're bringing in. This time I'm going to do a little bit differently. If you want specifics, hop into the Discord. I'll get you a screenshot. You can let me know. But we've sold a ton of players. We already talked about Boateng and Ken Lewis early in the window. We had those already lined up. Signorini's gone for 3.7 million to Venezia. Kratky, this guy. Ooh, made you mad. He, temperamental is correct. He said something to me a couple seasons ago about getting loaned out or not getting loaned out or whatever, and I was like, dude. And this time I was, like, you can leave make a parting comment when they go to leave, and I was like, hey, you've been a servant of the club, you're all come back. And he's like, I will never come back as long as you're the manager. I was like, easy, son. Easy. So he's gone. Again, that's not a major deal, but it's just like, whoa. We sold Fagliazza. He wasn't really going to make it. I was a little torn because overall he's decent, but I didn't think he was going to be worth keeping. And it's like there's add-ons to that 550K. We did sell Hope Oladapo for 10 million plus 20%, I think, to Ipswich. We have reloaned Di Benedetto. I thought about reloaning him to Empoli, going to Serie B and having him smash a bunch of goals in and coming back up. But Sporting came in. They've got outstanding facilities. They offered, what is that, 1.7 million, I think, over the life of the loan. Yeah, it's the same if they use him or not. But, I mean, We've got 2.5 and we paid 2.5. We are now break even on this player who is only 18. So it's all up from here in terms of him. If I could click back to the transfer screen, that'd be good. Oh, it was broken. That's why. Oh boy. We did sell Granite to Mary. I did not want to sell Granite to Mary, but we have sold Granite to Mary. 2 leads for 15 million. Here's why. He was on five grand a week. He wanted 45 grand. And I was like, oh, like in the grand scheme, would that have been fine? Yeah, I probably would have, but it's like, that's a big jump. That's a big jump. And we had Peter Moita, who could take his spot and get some minutes. I just didn't want to pay 8 or 9 times as much on the wages for a guy who's a 2.5 star. Would have loved to have kept him because he's an assist monster when he plays with a whopping 3. That's monster. Now he had 1 in the cup as well and 1 internationally, so he's definitely a monster. But like when you look at those ratings, that's quite good. But it also felt like, hey, here's a guy who's come through our academy. Let's go let him get paid and have a career. And they're paying him 75 grand. He wanted 45 for us. I guess we would have been a bargain, but it just felt like, well, we got Peter Moita at 22 grand, which is already more than that. But at least Peter has a higher ceiling. So we'll let him take those minutes and hopefully from a mentoring standpoint, stick around. Seemed fair, I guess. There's some other smalls in here. Manzi's gone for 450 grand, which is nice. Scatazzotta has gone on loan to Catania. He's one of those prospects. I think I called him up. I guess we gave him a cup substitute appearance, and that was it. I knew we brought him up to the senior team because when we had some injuries, just as a, hey, giving you a chance to run out here. He does have 3.5 star potential, could end up being pretty decent. So I felt like it was more important to get him game time. Serie B level at Catania, who I think we've had dealings with, I think mostly good. They're a Serie B team now. They've dipped, so they're looking for somebody that can come score some goals. So hopefully he can help them do that. And he's worth 2.6 million, and we're getting 100K out of the deal, which kind of covers his wages over the last 2 seasons. And that's all right. But I thought that was kind of interesting because I was like, we've used him just a little bit, and then we sold this guy who was one of our new youth prospects, and I'm probably going to regret it. But when Roma comes in, okay, and offers, it's like 850 rising to 1.1 million on a guy I'm never going to see because we're not going to make it to 2040 or whatever in the save. I mean, he's balanced. He only had 3-star potential. I was like, sure. And I was also trying to raise some funds, to help our bank balance out a little bit. So that was part of that. So nothing too shocking, I don't think, because we already showed Boateng and Ken Luce going. Ken Luce, just for the record, has got 2 starts on a 6.85 because he's Ken Luce. He's making 170 grand a week as a squad player. Good on you. He's worth 72 million, so the value is about the same. Boateng at Borussia Dortmund has had a DFB Pokal goal and assist in 1 start on an 8.7. He's back in Germany. He's happy. He's a squad player. Good for him. And yes, I did I skip over what I probably should have done as this side first? Yeah, probably. We brought Serge back. I couldn't resist. I know that we were kind of split on the comments. People were like, no, don't do it. People were like, yeah, bring him back for one last go. I think it's important because Colombani broke his ankle. Like, I'm kind of glad we brought him back. Now, I'm not saying he's a worldie, but he's on 85 grand. He took an impact subcontract, and if we give him 15 appearances, he gets a 1-year extension. So he's not made an appearance yet. He's probably gonna 2.5 star, whatever. But he's that wise veteran, right? Experience, 16 determination. He can mentor. He's tall. He has forehead issues with doing this. But besides that, I just think it's brilliant. We got 52 million for him. They got a full season and 2 half seasons out of him, and we got him back on a free. I kind of feel like we've robbed him, to be honest with you. Now, he's not going to be here forever. I just kind of like him. I just think that's neat. And he can mentor Voisin as he is developing and, cover for Colombani, whatever. I showed you Juan Leon. He's done a 7.35 in 2 starts, which is a good start to his career with us. You could argue at 77 million, we might have overpaid a little bit. Fair, but beggars can't be choosers when you go, I'm going to sell our holding mid and I need a new one. There's only so many out there, and he's young, so we'll take him. Pretty pleased thus far. And then, my friends, the one I've been holding out on, you saw it in the listing that was there, 30.5 million from Flamenco, right? Flamenco. Gilmar Jose. My goodness, am I excited about this guy. 7.55 in 2 starts with a goal. He was lighting it up in preseason with 4 goals and 2 assists on a 7.32, which doesn't really tell you anything, but he's either-footed. He's a complete forward. He'll play advanced forward. You could play him not anywhere. Really, it's in the center of the park. But if you had to play him on the left or right, he can use either foot. He's a 5-star player that we paid $30.5 million for, and we're only paying him $90,000. He scored 24 goals in a whole season in Brazil's first division, and 10 goals in half of a season before we bought him. I'm not saying that's the same level, but he looks pretty good. Now, the concentration, not so good, but everything else, I was like, I think this is pretty good. And especially when you look at, again, I quadruple checked. I had to make sure that the correct agents had gone, the ones with the highest judging current ability and potential ability had actually gone. And it's not like I want to get rid of Joaquin, but if you just look at it this way, you're like, this guy's significantly better. He just is. Joaquin is fine. There's nothing, and I think his mentals are better, right? So we want him around. That's why we extended his contract, and he's got a goal in a substitute appearance on a 7-1-0. He came in and knocked one in. But I think this guy's pretty good. And he's under 22, so he doesn't even have to be registered. So that's where we're at, people. 133 million out, 118 million in, which leaves our finances looking like this. And this is what I'm not understanding. I guess you could argue, if you're Colombani, you didn't bring in a large quantity of players. But it's bro, we replaced Ken Lewis with a younger version who's better, I think, or at least has the potential long-term to be outstanding. We sold Boateng so that you can get more playing time before you broke your ankle, and we signed Serge as your backup, who's now going to get your playing time. Got good value for Boateng, and instead, for less money, brought in our new striker, who is outstanding and a star. So when you look at the overall squad here, now this is a rotation squad, but and this is good because Jose Carlos has got fractured ribs, Voisin's out, of course, non-footballing incident. What were you doing when you strained your back? I don't want to know, man. I don't know. Out for 3 weeks, and he's been quite good. Now, one of his 2 goals in the substitute appearance was a penalty, but it was a penalty. Young kid, 15 penalty taking. It was good. And Colombani out for 2 to 3 months with a broken ankle. So in normal situations, we've got Gilmar up top instead of Joaquin. We've got Colombani, Voisin, Serge, one of those 3, maybe Lorenzo even, in the left wing. We got De Silva up top, assuming he stays. Pedrelli on the right. Normally, instead of Bogdanovic, we've got Contreras here. We've got Leon here instead of Richard. We got Gunesh, Silva / Neto, and then Jose Carlos when he's not injured, Ibrahim and Casapo. So I guess I could just show you, right? If I do it like this. Again, let's take Colombani as being the best right now. I think that's a solid squad. And Contreras, my friends, is on a 7.82 in the last 5 games. He's on an 8.25 this season in 2 games with 2 goals. He's 4-star here. Depends on who's giving my opinions here, but he's calling 3.5 stars. Split the difference. Outstanding squad. Now, if De Silva and Colombani get upset about 2 various issues and want to leave, we're kind of up a creek, to be completely honest with you, and that's what I'm a little perturbed by. But that's where we sit. So I'm really curious what your thoughts are on that window. I do think Voisin deserves the opportunity to earn that job, but it's nice to have Colombani and Serge here as the guiding mentors. That's how I kind of looked at it. Not to mention, Bettini is a 2.5 star who's worth 49 million. And in the papers at a couple of weeks ago, it was so-and-so's interested at 38 million. I'm this is a guy earning $8,000 a week from us who's 19, Hello. So he's going to play. Ian, you guys were like, hey, make sure he gets some game time. Yep, working on it. He's already worth $4.5 million on $600 a week. We're going to offer him a contract probably in January before it gets too crazy. We kept Nicolini. We had to keep Nicolini. Didn't have to, but we did for squad registration from a homegrown club standpoint. We were starting to run out since we sold Emery, and that's also why Peter Moita has stayed around, because he qualifies for that, I think. Do they qualify for that? I don't remember. Yes, he does. So we have just enough. That's the other thing. You gotta watch that when you start selling players. You gotta watch that. So that's where we're at, people. That's where we're at. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. Now, let's go do the draw. Come on, boys. I just want to show you. We are third in the coefficient on 113. Tottenham on 121. Liverpool on 164, kind of at a different level. Look at that. The other first seed, Schalke, 59. Obviously, they must have won the league. Yes, they won the league with Diego Simeone. Hello. But if you stack ranked them all, they'd be well done here. They'd be third pot, most likely. So whoever gets the Schalke group is like, yay! All right, we are Group B, my friends. So you've got all the Manchesters. You got Barcelona, Salzburg, Chelsea, Lyon, Madrid, Frankfurt. Oh, everyone's tough. Let's just figure it out. Oh, yeah. Well, we've been able to do all right against them. We'll take it that way. Then you got Real Madrid in the third pot. That's interesting. Dortmund, Monaco, Genk, Porto would be nice. Wolfsburg. Not Real Madrid. How about Real Madrid? Great. Are we going to get Club Brugge, the toughest one, or are you going to give it Luzerne? How about that? Galatasaray. Okay. Tough group. Tough group, my friends. Looking at it. I think Salzburg skates through this group. I think that is probably the easiest group. I think we probably have. You could argue maybe Group C with Man United, Sevilla, and Inter. Sevilla having just won La Liga out of nowhere. Porto's pretty far down there from a coefficient standpoint. They've been consistently coming second. I mean, that's tough for, but it's tough for these two teams because of these two teams, right? And then Luzerne goes into this group with Tottenham, Atletico Madrid, and AC Milan. I think or Group B or Group C. What do you think? Toughest group? I'm not counting Group A. I don't think. That's a tough one. Not gonna lie. So we go Man City, Galatasaray coming up next episode, my friends. Again, thank you so much for your support. I'm excited about FM21. I hope you are as well. Hit the like button if you're new around here. I haven't said that in a long time. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks to these patrons whose names are about to pop up. It really does mean a lot. We'll see you next time. Let's go!